G'day viewers, hopefully my sound is okay. I can see, no, the sound isn't going through my physical mixer. This is really weird. Hopefully the mic's going out, hopefully the game sound will work, hopefully it'll just be fine. So welcome along, we're having a look at Diesel Railcar Simulator. It's been out for a long time, 2018 maybe, I think, something along those lines. That train guy, you're getting a bit excited. 27 minutes till it's 2024. It's been 2024 here for 8 hours, 33 minutes and 10 seconds. Hello, Dave Randall. So, I think we might just get into it and do a run. What do you reckon? The routes are made up, but there are routes in Workshop that are real. I just want to run a timetable. There we go. Now, Class 127, I think that's a DMU. 112, 112. Lots of things on the 112. 127. Oh, let's go something on the 112. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Why not? It's interesting that it's got good for video and streaming. So that's its filter at the moment. So it seems to have figured out that I'm streaming because it didn't say that yesterday. Anyway, let's go this one. Let's see what it does. So this is what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops. It's got some advice on braking and controls, and you can watch the AI drive it as well. So hello to, let's go through the things. Michael Newberry, Nicholas Glanfield, that train guy, Dave Randall, and that's everybody commenting at the moment. That train guy is finishing up a reskin, and 10 hours to go for Michael Newberry. And Dave, hello Dave, I missed you. Alright, let's see if it works. You can just start without having stuff loaded, but it's better to load stuff. This looks like it's going out in my mixer, this is better. I'm happy now. Still not seeing it in the output channel, but it looks like it's going out in the stream. It's going out in the, I can see it on the virtual mixers. Anyway, it starts paused, so we'll take advantage of that, have a quick look around. It's kind of like, if you needed an example, it's kind of like Train Sim Classic, I suppose, but it's got some of the better graphical elements of the Train Sim World level. I don't know what the engine is, so I tried to find out, but it looks kind of nice. It runs pretty well. It would appear to run on a potato, so not too many dramas there. I went for a run yesterday, and I have to say its key combinations confused the living crap out of me, so I changed them. So put our master key on. We have to start our engines. There's the right side engines running. There's the left side engines running, so this one's got 4. So how many cars have we got? Oh, look at that, the door's open. They've never opened for me before. And they're closing. Looks like they close car by car. That's kind of nice. I think that's why I've just seen it. But we've got 4 cars, and we're sitting in a made-up station, St. Padding's Cross. That's a bit sad, isn't it? It only runs during the day. You can't run at night time. And you can see a red bar down on the HUD down there. It's penalising me for using the HUD, by the way. It kind of is potato graphics, but it's it looks okay, and it still has some shadowy pop-in stuff. But we'll keep getting there. So, has it captured my attention to run it all the time? I don't know. Let's start the brakes releasing because it's almost time to go. Just build some vacuum up and we'll lap it there. You can see the brake gauge over here. The more you use, it wants me to go. And you have to repeat the buzzer back or it gets mad at you. So we are in forward, I think, already. Let's release the brakes. And let's get going. You can't set headlights, you can't set tail lights. Oh, hang on. That's something I didn't do. Something I have to do. And I have to do it at both ends too. Otherwise, we're not going far. Did it get it all the way off? It did. Now we're going to go That one won't have it applied. This one will have it applied. It'll have handbrakes applied at both ends. I learnt this yesterday. Actually, no, this one doesn't. I lied. I apologise. Alright, now we can go. So let's get the brakes off again. I've been kicked out of the cab because I left. Alright, now we should be fine. Are we still in forwards? It's weird that we're still in forwards given we got kicked out of the cab, but anyway. Now it'll probably move. There we go. We have got a green signal down there. I'm just going to move this a bit because I'm quite dependent on the cab displays. And you have to drive it the way the LMS video said to drive these things, because if you don't, it breaks. It's kind of interesting. There is a class 40 and a class 37. There's another one too. There's a class 3. Now we're only allowed to do 25 mile an hour at the moment until we get to that 40. You see, it does have some weird shadowy effects happening here and there. The graphics are probably somewhere between TSC and TSW. They're better than Run 8. They're nowhere near in a league with Railroader, but it's quite an old game, so we should be in the 40 zone by now. So I shall speed up. It sounds quite good, and it rattles when I want you to change gears. And if you don't wait that couple of seconds as you change, you could break your gearbox. I've done this. Hello, Rails of Illinois. Let's try and catch up with the chat. Another 2.5 hours to go for the UK. 10 hours for Michael. Excuse me. Nicholas says, have not played Railcar Sim for 2 years. Been a lot of updates since. Hopefully I didn't just break my gearbox. We're running a bit as fast as we're allowed to anyway, so we'll post in fourth. Now I've changed my keys to be the same as the keys used for TSC and TSW because its keys were kind of crap. It's too loud, is it? How's that? I'll turn it down a bit. It sounds really good. Nice click-clack, nice dieseling. Now this is a cool thing. We'll just have a look at the suspension. In fact, let's just let it cruise for a little while. Just trying to get in close to the suspension. There we go. Look at that. Bloody everything moves. The springs move, the axles move, the wheels bounce around. Hangers move, the brake rigging moves, everything moves. A lot of effort's gone into this. It's moving from side to side, it's moving up and down, it's doing the tangential things. That's just cool, but I'll never look at it again. So, a lot of effort, never look at it again. I like that there's that degree of simulation. Looks like there might be something flying by on the other route down there. There is, look at that. There's another one down there. I'm getting an AWS race. There we go, fixed it. It hadn't acknowledged the AWS. I think it's still trying to stop me too. Brakes have come off. Oh, how did we end up back in first gear? How about I didn't just kill it? It's not quite a single person. There's a bunch of people working on it these days. It used to be just one guy, but it's not anymore. And it is an excellent animation of a bogey, but worthwhile. I don't know. I haven't figured out how to turn on windscreen wipers. I don't think you can. It doesn't appear to have weather. You can't run at night, so you can only do day runs. It does have dusk and dawn. I can't think of any particular reason why it would be like that. Let's get our speed back up. Is this the station we're supposed to stop at? It is. How come me? Whee! Brakes, 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 brakes. I don't know if we're going to make this. I wasn't paying enough attention. I think we're going to sail straight through it. We might get one door in the platform. What do you reckon? Let's see what this last car looks like. Will it stay in the platform? Will it be in the platform? Will it be in the platform? I think not. I think not. Nah. Bugger. Oh well. I don't know if we're allowed to go backwards. Is it counted this as a stop? I'm not sure. Oh, let's kick me out because I wasn't here. Let's see about... Come on. Why won't you let me go into reverse? It's throwing me out of reverse as soon as I go into it. But I don't have a gear selected or anything, so it should. I think I've broken it. No. Oh well, we'll just go on to the next station. Oh, hang on. I know what it's probably doing. I think I know what it's doing. Let's just get rid of you, and let's get rid of you. Killed the rail driver and killed the gamepad. Now, where does that leave us? Is it going to work now? Alright, so that's working. Alright, so now we should be able to. Yay! That's what was going wrong. It was fighting the controller and the rail driver. Back we go. Assuming we're allowed to. Is there a signal at the end of that platform? I'm not sure. Could be our first spat coming up. There you go. You got to watch me bugger it up. And thank you for the Nebworth. Alright, no signal at the end of the platform. We are sweet. And doors opening, yay! So it's happy. Alright, let's get back in there and go back into forwards. Let's go into neutral. And forwards. 1 minute late, yes. That's because I screwed it up. You wouldn't want to drive a pacer on this line. Off we go again. Its implementation of Raildriver, clearly whoever implemented it does not have a Raildriver and has no clue about how a Raildriver actually works. And that's okay. Because its implementation of Raildriver just doesn't work. It can't work the way they've done it. they're basically treating each lever in Raildriver as if it's just got an up and a down, as though it's an on switch and an off switch, like a joystick, but it's not. They each have values, so it just goes mental when you try and set it up with the driver. Which is pity, but that's life. Is it still loud, isn't it? It's overpowering me. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is overpowering me a bit, isn't it? Bring it down a bit more. How's that? Is that better? My microphone setup's been a bit weird since I rebuilt the PC, so hopefully that's better. It looks like it's leveling. I'm not sure if the game's actually doing sidechain ducking or not. It should be. Oops, I've not changed gears since I've been concentrating on my sound. At the next station, I'll just have a quick look at my sound setup and just make sure I've got sidechain ducking turned on. Looks like I don't, for whatever reason. You've got fireworks going, that train guy. I actually watched the fireworks from New Zealand because I couldn't be bothered staying up till midnight. And I went to bed. And then I got woken up at midnight anyway. Is that red? Yep. Yay. Bad. It didn't stop me. Ha! So maybe it's not red. I'm just going to keep going. We crash into a train, we crash into a train. I was running on Long Island Railroad in TSW the other day, and I got routed into a path that actually crossed tracks with another train, and we came together like this. We just ended up stuck like that. I was quite impressed that the physics actually simulated it. I was very sad that I wasn't recording it because it was funny as. I'm just catching up a bit of time here, so excuse the speed. And this is not a stopping station, so we're all good. We're going to spill everybody's tea and coffee as we go through this little corner though. I'd love it to have real routes, and some of the workshop ones are real routes, or at least seem to be, but I get why they don't, because this way they can concentrate on making a route that's fun for operation, and this is an operationally focused simulator, and if it's just set up for operation, they don't have to worry about people going, "Ah, you forgot this pole," or "the bridge is the wrong colour brick," or "there's a stick in my eye, you need to get it out." Those people. So I get why it's done this way. Just realised the carriage is level too. That's nice. So in a simulator from 2018 we've got carriage level. Very cool. Can we go up the other end, game? Do you think? Come on, I want to go up the other end. And I bet you've keyed me out. You have keyed me out. I think that's probably a bug, because if you move cabs just with the cameras, it keys you out, which seems a little weird to me. So we'll probably be in third. Yep, third was the right gear. Just while we're cruising, I'm going to have a look at my sound config. Just have a quick look. I hope I don't mess this up. Filters, compressor, so it should be You really should be doing side chain ducking, but it appears not to be. But that's okay. And my mic is definitely quite quiet. I will have to do something about that. We appear to have a proceed up here, so that's not facing us, that's signal, it's fine. I keep expecting to encounter a train coming the other way, because I'm pretty sure that I did run through a red earlier. Bolnhurston. I don't think that one was red, Michael, because it was not facing me. It was the black and white side of it. But I do think I ran through a red one earlier, so I'm expecting a train to run into me. Maybe this one coming. Is this on my track or is this on another track? We're going to find out soon. This could be spectacular. Nah, it's the other track. It's kind of, you know, I'm actually kind of disappointed. Nicholas says what attracted me to this sim 3 years ago was the different transmissions and the different class of rail cars. The simulation was quite good at the time. I think it's quite good now. I think it has stood the test of time because it's about 5 years old. And I'm kind of sad that I hadn't found it earlier. I only discovered it when I was pouring through the Steam sale and I went, what's this game? I've never seen this game before. So I have to say, I'm kind of liking it. I'll have to have a look at the workshop routes and see what they're like and have a play with all the different classes. I did have a little play with the class 3 yesterday and I absolutely struggled with it. It's a low powered piece of shit, but I think they have just accurately reflected that it's a piece of crap. We do have a red coming, so I am going to start applying the brakes. I like their vacuum brake sounds, they're actually quite good. They're pleasing. Just cruise along in 4th gear, as is appropriate. Sure, I'm actually, oh yeah, red signals. And it's a proper lapped brake. Now we wait. It doesn't have any kind of contact signal thing. You're not supposed to be here. I don't know what to do with you. Oh, I like that. I did run through a red before, clearly. Andy says there should be a Go Transit and Via Rail in Transim World 4. They were working on a Go Transit thing for Oakville. I don't know whatever happened to that. Because I'm pretty sure it got made, I'm just not sure where it went afterwards. So I think we'll have to run another service because it clearly says you're not supposed to be here, so I don't know what to do with you. Or we could just keep driving through red signals and see what it does, but I think we'll run another service. So restart, save and exit to main menu. That looks about right. Looks like that's what we want. So let's do a quick start, full controls. Who knows where it's put us, and who knows what we're in. Ah, we appear to be in the other one, so this must be the 127. We've got a single car, and we're at Steppersundern, whatever that is. Alright, let's figure this one out then. So, we can muster key on. Looks mostly the same, it looks pretty close to the 101. So let's get some engines started. I keyed in. I'm not hearing engine start noises on this one. Maybe this one's got another switch as well. That's just the buzzer. Oh, it's paused. That's why I'm not hearing engine start sounds. There we go. Do we have two running now? We do have two running now. Do we have doors open? No. You can't actually open the doors yourself. Let's go into forwards. Vacuum brake's fully applied, so let's get the handbrake off. I'm going to assume it doesn't have a handbrake on at the other end this time. We'll just see what happens. I'll assume it figures these things out for itself. So we're in forwards, we can go into first gear because it's almost time to go. Because we'll just sit here. Start the brake releasing. We'll sit out there, that'll still hold the brake. Is there a guard? You have to respond to the guard. Off we go. And this one's a bit more responsive in first gear. Bubble car, you reckon, Nicholas? Quite picturesque. This could almost be Australian. The view outside the windows here. Attempt this version of a gratuitous sprint shot. That's as good as we're getting. That looks like a slightly unrealistic hill, but that's okay. This one's faster than the other one, isn't it? Almost up to 50 already. That's the nickname for them. Fair enough. You can always do a police car. That's got exhaust pipes on the back. We are heading down rather fast. Keep them on some brakes. Curb our speed a little bit there. That's better. Hello Daniel, happy New Year to you as well, if you're there yet. I quite like a route with some hills. It's nice. Bit of steepness to cope with. I quite like this. Daisies and poppies. If you've got them, smoke them. Who said that? 2 hours to go, Daniel. I like that you can just play a random service. There's a number of things in this game that I have to wonder if the ideas were adapted into some of the recent things in Transcend World. Things like starting a random service and that sort of thing. Its tutorial mode I actually found to be quite annoying. I better stop for this station, didn't I? Oh, the brakes. Are there any more brakes? There's no more brakes. Are we going to do it? We're down to 30. 25. I reckon we're going back again. Yep. I did that so well. We get to see Crying Cat again. This is a really good demonstration of how not to drive trains, isn't it? So good. Wasn't here, didn't say a thing. How good does it sound? It sounds like an old bus. Right, there we go. Let's get set back into forwards then. I've actually changed the keys to be the same as the other games I play, because its keys are yeah, by default applying power is W and S, which everything else kind of uses for the reverser. Gears is Q and A, brakes is G and T, and you apply it with C, lap it with D, release it with E, but G and T give you a range of positions. The loco brake is F and R, the handbrake is H and Y, engine start is U and O, reverser is up and down arrows. Yeah, it's a bit weird, so I changed it. Go back in here, I'll never get this right. First gear, let's release the brakes. Probably just roll away here. Oh, things do roll. I had to write down the keys because I couldn't find any details of where they were mapped apart from in the help and in the settings themselves. Can't say I looked for a manual though, probably should have. That might have helped a little bit. Now interestingly, you'll see at the end, if I do a run successfully, hopefully I will, you'll see at the end of the run that because I'm using two parts of the HUD, I'm using the gradient and I'm using the track, I'm going to call it the track monitor, it's not what they call it, but you know what I mean. All the other games call it the track monitor. So that we're about to go down a roller coaster. It actually subtracts points from you, because you're using some help. So it encourages you to drive HUD free to maximise your points, which is something that's just recently come into TSW. We're going downhill, I'll probably get away with going into fourth down here and we'll just roll. It'd be cool to have some people in it, but I've kind of gotten used to not having them with Railroader. going to survive running in fourth. It's just out of the power band, but it'll probably be okay. We're going downhill again. So this is on, I think it's still on sale in the Steam sale till the 4th or 5th of Jan, something like that. And for me it was about $12, so it's kind of nothing. It's usually about 30 for me. I've no idea if UK trains honk for tunnels, but you know. I kind of like its tunnel lighting. It's got a primitive sort of eye adaptation that seems to actually work. It does have the annoying shadow pop in on the rails in front of us, just like another game we know so well. You know, in all this time, no one solved that problem. Since I've got the HUD on, I should probably actually watch it more, shouldn't I? Then I wouldn't be stationed so often. It was pretty easy to change the key commands, Nicholas. I did have loads of trouble at first. I don't like the way it's implemented the controller either. So you can use an Xbox controller with it, or whatever controller Steam supports anyway, which is both Xbox and PlayStation, so take your pick. But I wasn't a fan of the way they've implemented that. And I tried to adjust it, but it wasn't a fan of my adjustments. Not again. See, simulation's very good, and it stops very slowly, in much the way shitty old trains stopped. So, this is not the simulator. My guard's going, God, what is it with this guy? I've got to have you again, eh? Paid money for my crying cat. I didn't think I'd need it quite so often today though. After I get used to it and make sure it's all happy on my system, which it seems to be, I'll take a look at the workshop routes, because there seems to be quite a lot of workshop content. Whether it's good or not, I couldn't tell you, but there does seem to be a lot. And some of them are named as though they're real routes, so I'll check those out. Because I do like a real route myself. Hey wow, the pop-in track shadows actually match the sun in this game. Luxury. I was reading various forums on the internet and just trying to get a handle on what its good things were and what its bad things were, so I could have a bit of an idea before I streamed, because I'm pretty new to this game. And I found one post from one of the noisy people who hates Train Sim World. I won't mention who it is, because that's not fair. But they posted back in 2018, this is the Train Sim World killer. Train Sim World can't possibly survive this simulator. It's like, And computers will only ever need 640k. If you're going to go balls out in a statement, don't be wrong. History will judge you. And nothing ever gets deleted on the internet. I'm even doing more or less the right speed for a change. Still a little bit high. It does penalise you if you go too fast. So I'm going about 5 miles over at the moment. There's a lot of flowers. I think we're probably in a 3rd gear area. Yeah, we're just in the power band for 3rd. No point accelerating too much. We appear to have a red signal coming. Station. We're not due there till 1746, so no need to push it too hard. Interesting arch bridge up there. Got a distant at... It's wrong to say there at stop, it's a distant that's against. Does look like their signals are staying red. Sometimes they go green as you approach them. I'm trying to be good this time. I think my one complaint is that without the HUD, probably couldn't drive to the signals because you can't see them yet, but you're within the stopping distance. So there they are up there. So I still can't actually make out a signal at this point, but only because I've got the HUD that I know I need to stop. It has in fact gone green. The next one's red. You have to coast in 4th if you're wondering. I'm going to be 10 seconds late. Oh no, it's doing so well. crossing another one that's crossly waiting for us. What's this guy doing? Holy shit, we stopped at a station, and on time. Me think it amazing. Hey, the AO train's honk. That's cool. There's our people models. Guard sounded a bit angry then. No one ever gets on or off the trains, they just stand there. Yeah, signal sighting, I think they could do with some improvements there, because I don't think you could actually play without the HUD, which means you can't score a perfect points if that's your thing. I don't really care about points, but I usually turn them off in the games because I just want to drive. I know if I'm driving well or badly, I don't need a game to tell me. I think its physics model, I'm going to put it in the excellent category. I'm going to put its physics model for the railcars anyway, so I haven't driven the diesel haul trains yet, apart from the 03. For the railcars, it's right up there with Run 8 for physics. So it's probably as close to perfect as you're going to get in a simulator. It just feels right. And take this from someone who actually does play with real trains. This feels right. Makes me very happy. Really? There really was a 15. Must be a shitty old bridge. I probably should have slowed down for that. Slowing down for the 40 at least. Well, we have a distant against us, so we'll have a stop in the next station. This water's not awful. Kind of get used to, or I'm starting to get used to the way the brakes work. Yeah, so I really think if you like the aspects of driving more than you care about scenery. Not that I'm saying the scenery is bad in this, it's not. The scenery is fine, but it's not on a par with some of the other games that are out now. So it's the technology has eclipsed this thing from a scenery perspective. So if you're into your train simulation for train simulation, I reckon this is a good buy, especially now in the sale. Elliptic J, Happy New Year to you. And you're welcome. I quite enjoyed 2023. Hello there. We're going to be here for a little while by the looks of it, and we're on time again. Wow. Yeah, I was quite happy with the way 2023 went, actually. There was quite a bit of growth in the channel. Trying to keep a balance between shorts of real trains and train sim stuff seems to be going okay. Don't seem to be pissing people off. Can't go yet. At some point. At some point. So 2024, there's so much more variety in the train world now. So the Railroader series I expect will keep going, and I don't know if it'll be a weekly thing or if it'll be more or less. Still thinking about that. I can see this getting a place. I've got a few Japanese train sims that I think could get a bit of a place as well. Some of them have dropped off. I never really got into SimRail. Train Life is similar, just couldn't get into it, so it's just sitting there. I own it, never play it. The Tram Simulator Urban Transit, I'm enjoying the story mode of that. I think once I finish the story mode, I think it'll go away. Same with the Bus Simulator. I enjoy the story mode, but after the story mode's finished, it doesn't really excite me anymore. American Truck Simulator is bringing out an Australian package, so we'll see where that goes. I don't mind American Truck Simulator, but I can't say, and Euro Truck Simulator is the same, it's actually the same game, but I'm not having to play it. Nicholas is getting used to the Vectron on TSW4. I like the Vectron. The Vectron's very good. I think it's one of the best locomotives in the game. It really shows what we should be expecting for all locomotives. Oops. Supposed to be doing 25. Give it all the brakes, because I ain't going to be slowing down that quick. I needn't have bothered. You don't seem to be able to derail in this game, which is probably a good thing, given my behaviour just then. Elliptic J has just started getting into Run 8, the American Railroad Simulator. Today it's a steep learning curve. It's an understatement. It is a very steep learning curve. I actually really enjoy Run 8, but I hate really long runs that take 8 or 9 hours to do, because it's so realistic that you actually do a real shift, and that's not my thing. So I find myself doing the locals. We've got a distant against us, so I need to start braking. So, the little local trains I really like in Run 8, and at one point I actually did some stuff to reskin a freight and build an Amtrak. And I had my own Amtrak train before someone else released one. I should have just let gravity do the work here. In fact, if I don't do something about it, we're not going to get to this red signal. kind of blindly hoping this red signal will change, but it probably won't. So we'll just cruise our way up to it now. Where even is it? It's not red anymore. I wonder if they're challenge signals and you're supposed to come up and challenge them and they pull off. Hasn't pulled off the one after it yet though. I am going to have to power. So that one on the left isn't for me, that's for the other track. But there is one up ahead that's still red. That is for me. Or is it for me? No, that's not facing me, that one. Look at me being good. And there it goes, green. Stick with Run 8 Mesoliptic J if you like American freight. Once you actually master that thing, you'll like it. The multiplayer servers are very, very tough to break into. But if you can prove yourself to be a prototypical operator, you will get on. It's getting that chance that's very hard. Oops, wrong way. There was one server I used to do dispatch for quite often. So this is a distant that's against, and this one has an AWS magnet. So I'll just take it up to 40 mile an hour. I won't go over that. Because I can see that we've got another red coming up, and we've got A25 coming as well from Chillings Langley. So we'll just stick with 40 mile an hour, that'll be good enough. There's one of the Diesels. Some Mark 1s. It is green, but I still have to do 25. We're probably changing to go into the platform, I assume. Yep. Chillings Langley on time. Wow. Hello SI, how are you? We're playing Railcar Simulator. We're trying not to bugger it up. Getting better. I've still got a red signal at the end of the platform, so I can't just go roaring out of here, because our departure is red. I suspect it'll come off when it's time to go. because old school signalling was actually like that. So in reality, in an old school world, I would just sit here. I would not do what I'm going to do. The horn does sound pretty good. I couldn't tell you if it's prototypical or not, I have no idea. So in reality, a driver would just sit in the platform. There we go, it's coming off. Oops. Acknowledge our happy little signalman and thank them. I moved up because I had a faint suspicion the game wouldn't actually bring the signal off if you didn't. How about that? Catch points that would put the train straight into the signal box. You'd feel nervous using those catch points, wouldn't you? Just crash it into the signal box, through the signal box, and down into the gully. Fantastic place for catch points. It's almost as good a placement as the catch points on my real life railway. We've got a set of catch points that if you actually aren't stopped by them, you'll drop down a 2-metre embankment into the 2 platform. And they have caught a couple of trains. And in the bad old days, we used to just get the jacks out and lift them up, build up a crib of sleepers, and slide them over by hand, as you do. 90. I think that's ambitious for this. So we head for Sharpenden. But these days we have to use cranes, and they struggle to find a way to get cranes to where the catch points are. It's problematic. I agree, SI, the graphics aren't awful. Appear to have a red signal coming up. Let gravity do the work for the moment, slowing us down, but I'm going to have to. If I don't, bad shit's gonna happen. It's not very friendly to give me a red signal. I'm doing pretty well. See, how are you? I should use this guy whenever someone says hello. Yes, I bought an emote pack. Put them in for one of the stream's long-term contributors, namely Kat, who buys a lot of gift memberships for people, or has done throughout last year. So is that signal really red? No, it's green. Why is it telling me it's red? They're both green. They're clearly both green. Do that, given I'm in idle. Yeah, the shadow line seems to be a fairly common issue with games. Even in Railroader it does it. Could I have just kept running through there at 70 mile an hour and those have changed? I don't know, maybe. Shadows are one of the most computationally expensive things in game graphics. Prior to the wonderful world of ray tracing, that is. Ray tracing video cards, which, you know, not everybody's going to have an RTX series card. So ray tracing makes shadows and lighting much better, but very few games use it because very few people have the cards. I'm surprised Train Sim World doesn't use ray tracing though, because while their PC market probably, I'm going to guess here and say maybe 30-40% of the PC market probably has an RTX capable card, both consoles are DLSS compliant, and both of them support DirectX 12 rate and support the ray tracing and everything, so, you know, kind of surprised they don't do it. But that's life, isn't it? How fast I was going then. I reckon that signal will come off, but I need to slow down for the 25 anyway. As we arrive at Sharpenden. If that signal doesn't come off, I'm in trouble because I haven't got a quick apply on these brakes. There is one, I just don't have the key implementer for it, because I think that's cheating. Still waiting for the signal to come off here. There we go. Well, the graphics looks alright, especially when you consider it's a 5-year-old game, and I've got no idea what engine it's using. I couldn't find anybody anywhere that was talking about what engine it is, so it might even be a homegrown one. It would seem unusual to do a homegrown engine, because that's a lot of work, and there's not that much point to building a homegrown engine when you can just have one. So I don't really know why you would. Just wanted to keep up our 10 mile an hour there, we were dropping below it. I'm just watching the clock, so I'll go up as far as I can and still be able to stop at 18:11. That'll do. Let's stop there. On time, and we have completed our run, so let's press escape. So you can see on the scoring on the right hand side there. Look at that, I've got the top score. What a surprise. And you can see how it penalises you if you're speeding, and it penalises you if you're not in the ideal speed curve. So if you've got the limit there as the hard red graph with the right-angled lines, and the target is a light grey line that you're supposed to meet. And my speed is most of the time within target, but there's a few places where I was grossly over it. And these penalties here, the tutorial penalties and things, this is for having things turned on. So I've got the gradient and I've got the route minimap, they call it, and repeating signals on the minimap. So you lose points for having those, but I don't actually see how you can play without having this, because you can't see the signals within the stopping distance unless you know the route really, really well. Maybe then you could do it if you know what it's going to do. You lose 2% for showing the gradients, so I am showing the gradients because I need to currently, and show the station stopping time. So, you know, and I had one braking from AWS, and I exceeded the speed limit 85 times. I'm not quite sure how it measures that, because I reckon I exceeded the speed limit, what, once, twice, 3, 4 if you count that little corner down there, 5, 6, 7 if you count that corner, 8, 9, and that's it. So it didn't exceed the speed limit anywhere else. So I reckon it must count more. And unsafe driving. Ooh, going around corners too fast maybe. Maximum comfortable acceleration exceeded in a rail bus. I don't think so. And I use less energies. That's a good thing. But anyway, let's start something else. So why don't we try something? I don't think there's any diesel services on this one, is there? Let's show all, and ooh, freight runs. Yes, let's do a freight run. This sounds like fun. Newspapers. Let's do it. Normal scenario. Alright then. Let's give this a crack. So I haven't tried any of the diesels. We'll let's see how it goes. Ooh, it started driving. Interesting. So I assume everything's on. Let's just give the brakes a test and we'll see how they are. Yeah, they seem to behave normally. What's our throttle doing at the moment? Anything? So we're on full throttle. Alright, let's go back onto full throttle. To do 70 mile an hour, and we are. We are going downhill now, so we'll throttle off a bit. This one's a lot quieter, isn't it? Sounds pretty cool. Lapping the brakes releases them. But they appear to be a vacuum brake. So I don't know why lapping releases them. And of course a red signal coming up. Our old friend. You can put the brakes on a little bit, it seems. This is good. Eric H says butter smooth frame rate. Well, that's worth celebrating. The signals are coming off, so we can stop braking. Start accelerating again. We're going to go straight through Woodham Gobian, whatever that is. I can turn on the frame rate, but I don't know how. But I'm streaming at 60 frames per second, so whatever the game's doing is getting interpolated to 60 frames a second. Naughty me, get in there a minute early. I seem to be speeding. I should probably fix that. Especially since we're starting to go downhill. Is against, so we better start slowing down properly. Because while the previous behaviour of this game suggests the red signals will get pulled off as you approach them, I shouldn't count on that, because you never know, they might not. It's got the same problem that you can't even see them. Coming up into Sharpenton. Let's see if I can... Oh, it has in fact come off. So the mini-map's a little bit slow to follow reality. No point putting too much beans into it though, because we're going to be stopping, and we're remarkably early. So maybe I should just sit here for 2 minutes. So I'm going to arrive earlier than I'm allowed to. Just roll in the rest of the way. They look pretty good. I think the rolling stock graphics is probably on a par with trains. Very similar graphics for the rolling stock, so it's not quite realistic, but it's not quite the cartoony stuff of... Can't get back in the cab. There we go. It's not like the cartoony stuff of TSC. So maybe that's where it fits. It's between TSC and trains for graphics realism. Just trying to think about going in far enough so the back of my train will be in the platform. You're being generous, 1 minute early, almost 2. So it's a nice looking cab. You get safety systems whether you want them or not, so you just have to use them. Of course, down there we have low headroom, the distant cousin of Max. And if you understand that joke, you're as old as me. I think we need to be outside when this departs, don't you? So I want to see what this sounds like. There's a snazzy outfit. Butterflies. Going to be in here and sharpened for a little while. You can't wander around. There is an external camera. Yes, you can move it. Okay. So you can't wander around, but you can fly. You go into the platform? Yes, you can. Hello. I'm just your friendly troll under the platform. Don't mind me. People look funny from under the platform, don't they? Nice shoes. I wonder if there's a setting that makes the signals brighter. Let's have a look. Graphics settings. Ambient lights, motion blur, bloom. So I have got bloom turned on. Sunlight rays, cloud shading, filmic grain, depth of field. Is there a higher quality than high? No. I think I might change the drawing change. Oh, train texture's simple. Simple and off. Okay, let's put our LOD bias up a bit and see what happens. But is there something which will make signals display better? Doesn't look like it. That's okay. Oh, that reset my timer. That's naughty. She's got something growing out of her neck. Or is it her arm? Who knows what it is. Let's go look at the town. Town's going to peter out pretty quickly. It's all very repetitive stuff. Photographic stores, they look familiar, don't they? What does that say? Draw Wars? Painting shop? Street lights are kind of okay. I really have to wonder what engine this is. It's clearly had some decent work done on it from a world perspective. Let's go up here. If you're wondering why I'm mucking around, we can't go until that red line goes away. So you can scoot right up into the sky and you can come back. Is the world... Oh, look at that, the world's curved. They're probably not quite high enough for that, I would have thought, but, you know. Now, back down we go. No class fleet numbers. Hello, Andy, how are you? Yeah, there's no numbers on the locomotive, is there? Nothing. What about the carriages? 14 tons? No numbering. That's one way out of that particular issue, isn't it? Of having numbering issues everywhere. Do I hear a train coming? Not through there, clearly. I do hear a train coming. It's over here. Another newspaper train. Maybe that's it for freight in the game. I don't know why we can hear the sounds like waves. Are we near the beach? Let's go into signal box. There's a bit of detail inside the signal box. Not a lot, a little bit. Whoops. I'd kind of expect to see a block shelf as well as a lever frame. Oh, look at that. They've done the weights and switches underneath. I don't know why there's flowers growing inside the signal box, but that's okay. I'm impressed that someone actually... Oh look, because there's windows you can see in from outside. That's why they've done that. Go up. Come on, go up. No, no, no. Oh, and that's the cables were the fence going through the signal box on the inside. Oh, okay, I was pressing the wrong button, that's why it wouldn't go up. But let's just go look in the window. So apart from the fact there's flowers growing inside it, which I think is slightly disturbing, it is actually modelled inside, which is kind of cool. What else has got modelling inside? It's almost time for us to go. What about the people? Can you do that really weird transcend wheel thing with the people? Where you can look through their head? Let's try. Yep, can. There's a tongue and a mouth and the eyes, nostrils. That's kind of funny. We should probably get back in our cab and get ready to go. So I don't think we can start releasing the brakes in this, because they'll release quite quickly, I suspect. And we might roll. Yes, no signal or point rodding. It really is in simulators though, you notice that? I think there's two routes I've seen with signalling and point rodding. They're both in trains. One is the Healesville route and the other one is the Orbost route. They both quite faithfully replicate everything. I think it's almost time to go. Come on, Guard, give us the nod. No guard's whistle. Driver-only operation, apparently. Camera I put myself into. Here you go. Something weird, has it? That's what it has. Yep. Alright. Let's go back outside. And throttle up. There it goes. Happy 2024 to you too, Andy. It's been 2024 for 10 hours, 2 minutes and 34 seconds for me. I think I probably went a bit quick through there. That was so wobbly, that felt like a 10-mile switch. Oops. We shall continue in flat stick full power. We're doing through Chillings Langley at 453 and then Betty Green at 456. And we go straight through them. Daniel says my dad's just gone up to bed, and I said I'll see you next year. I like doing that at work, the last day of work before we break up. I go, see you next year, and just give you this funny look. Physics for the diesel feels pretty good. These are a relatively powerful beast, and they don't have a lot of carriages on. Camera movement keys have duplicated train control keys. I'll need to do some camera movement keys, different ones. I just realised that's what happened, that's why the reverser kicked out. Should we wake up the signalman? Seems fair. I was debating running my train horn at 7 o'clock this morning, but everybody was actually quite quiet around here last night. It was surprising. Last year was raucous. We're on a roll now. They even smoke when they're not throttling. Excellent, because they should. Because even when they're not throttling, they're still running. And old diesels are smoky pigs. It's just how they are. Watch out, Chillings Langley, we're coming for you, and we're early, so we should be driving slower, I think. And I do have a 50 coming up, so I'm going to slow down for that. I think we shouldn't be driving at the speed limit. Ooh, the sunlight reflection on the gauges is a bit yuck. Point noises. The outside camera never seems to appear in a tree, that's good. I think Train Sim World could do with taking a few tips from this game, to be honest. I think, see. Poorhouse! How are you, mate? I haven't seen you for ages. I think it's pretty good. I think the physics in this game is up there with Run 8. The graphics, I've kind of decided, is somewhere between Train Simulator Classic and Trains. But it's okay. I'm running way early, so I'm running slower. We don't tend to have anything like galas, really, in Australia. No one really does anything like that. The nearest thing is probably the open day at Steam Rail and Elect Rail, where they'll run a bunch of services around their yard in Newport. That's probably the nearest we've got, and I know the Seymour Preservation Centre does a similar thing. At Puffing Billy, we've been known, when we've been capable of doing it, we can't do it at the moment, of having all 5 of our NA locomotives in steam. But at the moment we couldn't do that if we wanted to, because 2 are in the workshops, 2 are fully in traffic, 1's in traffic on sufferance because we need it, but it really should be in the workshop. We have had steam up days before, but they coincided with a winter festival in the town that I used to live in, called Emerald. But that stopped because the festival stopped. Coming up on Baby Green and red signals, so we'll continue cruising. We're at 35 mile an hour. Brake. C likes the flowers moving. Rails of Illinois, hello. Just finished rail fanning for the day, have you? Was it fun? I don't generally chase trains. I either work on them or ride on them. Sometimes I chase, but it's pretty unusual for me. The main reason I don't is not because I don't like making video of trains. I do. The main reason I don't is because it doesn't support the organisation that's running the train. Whereas riding it does. SimRail have talked a few times about having chase tickets that'll get you into places that the other gunzels can't get to, which I really like the idea of, and I hope they actually do it. That would be good. I think this signalman's one of those annoying ones who's going, well, this bloke's early, I'm going to stop him. In fact, I think that signal just went green. It did. It was about $8. If you want an exact price, I'll go and have a look for you. It's called the Railcar Simulator. Nicholas says the Linden and Barnstable Railway in the UK built a replica of a 2-foot gauge Baldwin some years ago. That would be cool. I'm kind of half-heartedly planning a UK visit for the middle of the year, so I should put that on my list and go visit it. Puff has a sister railway, the Italian. It's already 1 minute early now. That's getting better. There's another place where the catch point should put you straight into the signal box. How would you be as a signaller? You see something coming, it's running away, so you set the catch points to stop it, and it's going to kill you. There's a reward for good behaviour. Not. Yeah, we should be out of the 25 zone now, so we can start powering up again. Well, that went well. You do turn up in a tree sometimes. We're stopping at the next station. I'll give Poorhouse a wave. $18.19 in Canadian. That was quite a much bigger discount in Australia. It's very cheap. It's normally 34, I think, for Australian. So it was a very significant discount here. It's interesting that Steam's doing different levels of discount in the different regions. I didn't realise they did that. I guess they think you can afford more, Michael. So they're going to stick it to you. Didn't acknowledge that quickly enough there, and we got a AWS. So I just copped a penalty for that. That's the first time I've heard any kind of flicker in the sound from this game. Signals come off. We're not releasing. Why aren't we releasing? Oh, I had to explicitly release properly. I'd been relying on lap releasing the brakes, but it didn't that time. Hello, Ryan King. How are you? There's a red signal partway down the platform for East Harley, which would seem a little bit weird. Possible, but weird. Being good doing the speed that I'm supposed to do through points. Isn't that so weird? I don't see a signal anywhere. I think the actual platform's out of sync with the map. That's it. 3 minutes early. So I was better behaved this time. A little bit of speeding. Oh, it measured my energy use in millijoules. That's interesting. I think I only did that for gas. You can go back in. It's sort of a free roam. And you can go and watch another train if you want to. What else have we got? What about a stopping service? So that's okay. So they're all the little ones. They're all the 112s and the 127s. So I guess a semi-fast. So they're rail cars as well. Well, there's three. There's the 112, 127, and 126. And what about express services? Okay, so that's a diesel. No, that's a class 126 as well, so that's still a rail car. Class 40. Alright, let's take one of these. 812, a normal scenario. I'm not game to try a rescue scenario. Not sure what that means. You might find out what that means before I try that publicly. Oh, we're waiting for the universe to load still. Pass the main portal on time. Well, that's a surprise. And we are going flat stick. Brakes are off. We're coming up on a wet area by the looks of it. Got some big class 1s. Powered off as we go downhill. Quite like the sound. So I guess with this express we're just driving from one end of the route to the other. It does have a route map, but I can't actually tell you how to get that up. I haven't looked. They're set up for me as an express and they're behaving themselves. The distant is off. At proceed. Is there a rocket engine on it? That's kind of funny. I have got a laughing cat emoji, but I didn't put it on a button on the Stream Deck. Maybe I should. That would seem like a good use of a laughing emoji when someone makes a joke. I reckon the sound on this is spot on. There's no break from carriage to carriage. It's just a nice smooth progression as you go through, and it fades from one end to the other. So whoever did the sound for this actually understands audio, and they understand that sounds don't just stop and start. They fade into each other. Very happy with that. Back up to flat stick just for that pass then. Seemed pretty good. We have a red coming up. Oh, they've gone green, but we've still got to slow down for the 60. Fly through Sharpened a few minutes early by the looks. Fan moves. The carriages all move independently. Nice. Crossing, but it was only a shadow. Ryan says, I read an article pertaining to New Jersey Transit saying that trains should not exceed 60 miles an hour through a station, though they were. I'm not aware of any rule that says you have to go that slow. And the Accelus and things go through New Jersey Transit at 150. So the signalling's definitely behaving differently for an express versus a freight. Versus a stopping. That's interesting. Distant mountains look pretty good, don't they? There's no wires on the poles. Gets the speed down to 70 just in time. leaves the brakes on too long. But that's alright, we're going to come through Chillings Langley a little early anyway. We have to do 50 on the other side of the station, so all good. Sounds like my in-laws might be here. You get in the door? Okay. My in-laws are here for lunch at 10:30. Yay! That's alright, we'll finish this run and then I'll join them. Hello CJS08. The only thing that lets this game down, the sounds. Really? I reckon the sounds are actually awesome. I don't know if they're prototypical to this particular train, but I reckon they are the best run-by sounds I've heard. It's kind of like this, they're coming here. They're here early. There you go, you just saw one. What are you expecting, CGS08, that would be different? Hello, Red Arrow. It's about a 5-year-old game. It's called the Railcar Simulator. And it concentrates more on the operational aspects of the train than it does on scenery. The scenery's not bad, but they're made up of fictional routes. The physics of the train, I have to say, they're right up there with Run 8. The physics are really good. And the sounds are pretty good as far as I can tell, although one of the people on the channel just commented that they're not so good, which I'm curious about. I reckon they're great. Coming up to Baby Green, and we're a bit early again. So, Railcar Simulator, it's on special on Steam at the moment. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. So, and for me it was about $8, but Michael from Canada says it's about double that in Canadian dollars. It's got a lot of workshop content. There are some real routes, or supposedly real routes on workshop. I have not tried any of them just yet. I will, because I'm quite liking the way this works. I'm hoping there's some more freight stuff in workshop, because I do like a bit of freight stuff. Lexic Dark. That was a pretty real drive-by sound. Happy times and hi to all you festive freaks. You know, I didn't have to use my train horn this morning, Lexic Dark, because everybody was kind of quiet last night, so I didn't crank it up. For the rest of you who are wondering, I think if people keep me awake during the night, I have a way of getting revenge. I've got a 5-chime Leslie. But I didn't do it to them. Because 7 AM the next morning when you're allowed to make noise. Wah! Red Arrow thinks that the 37 sounds better in TSW4. If it is a 37, I'm not 100% sure of what it is, to be honest with you. It does have a 37 shape, but there's rather a lot of English diesels with this shape that are 37-like. I reckon the run-by sounds are excellent. Ooh. There you go. We'll watch the rail motor come past from inside. That was pretty cool. 2 different classes hooked together. Now I've got to figure out how to get back into my cab. There we go. And I think we're probably keyed out now. When you do that in the rail motor, it keys you out. This didn't. Class 40. Yeah, I kind of think so, Nicholas. It does feel 40-ish. Elliot Jury says, Happy New Year, mate. Still 2023 in the UK for the next 25 minutes. And then it'll be party cat time. Ryan King says it's Jumping Jack Flash. It's a gas. Well, yes. We just came through there 2 minutes early, so we're a little ahead of schedule. This game does penalise you when you're too early, so we'll run a bit slower for a little while. We got Bigley and Biggleston. Ooh, that was imaginative. How did they ever come up with those? And TSO coaches. This game has got one principal developer, just one, but there's a bunch of, from what I've read, volunteer people that helped the guy as the game has progressed. I think it looks pretty cool. It does have a world editor, so if there's something you don't like, you can change it. If I go around the other side, it'll be brighter, won't it? Bumping around on something there. But the bogey simulation looks pretty good on these as well. It's not as detailed as the railcar bogies were. They were amazing. These ones are just okay. We've got a green on the distance, so we shouldn't have that red signal. There it goes, it's gone green. Surprise! Red Arrow says it's £11 in the UK and you've just picked it up. I would suggest the first thing you do, Red Arrow, is tell it to disconnect. If you have Raildriver or Controller, tell it to disconnect them, because its implementation of Raildriver and Controller are rather poor, but its keyboard's fine. But the other thing I would suggest is don't go and learn its rather interesting key set. Just go and change them all so they're the same as your favourite train simulator, whatever one that might be. So I've changed them to be the same as TSW, so that I don't have to remember different keys for different games, because that just kind of gives me the shits. There we are. Did I just put that into neutral? I did, while I was driving. Interesting. But we're going to pass through Bigley early, so we're going to get penalised again. Not too sure how long this run is, and I have no idea how to bring up a map, so we'll just keep going. I'll be really interested to see what you think of the physics, Red Arrow, because I'm kind of liking it. Let's get on the outside, listen to some thrash up the hill. Bogies actually hunt a bit. That's nice. It does have some blurring where it seems to have, it's got phantom wheels by the looks of it. But fast rotating things are the bane of any game's engine, so I suppose I'm not that surprised. Biggleston coming up, we'll be going through there at full speed. Well, not full speed, but about 60 mile an hour, because that seems to be what their timetable's built around. When is Formation Designer coming out? It's hard to say, because they haven't really said in the roadmap, and I can't give you any more detailed information than what's in the roadmap. It has some challenges that I think they've talked about publicly, in that because a lot of the stock was never designed to work with other stock, when you put them together they explode. So I suspect what will happen is it'll come out on a buyer beware basis, and people will just have to understand that some formations just won't work. So I know there's already been some changes released when they did the updates to Midland Mainline, I think. They made the 158 compatible with the 150, so they can be joined together now when you're allowed to do it. So there's work happening in that area. Went through Biggleston on time. Excellent. So I was right. The guess about the timetable being based around 60 odd miles an hour seems to be about right. I was thinking you could do full speed on the route, but apparently not. Nicholas says the Class 40 is always popular at diesel galas in the UK. Ryan says, did we get TSW update with suspension physics or not yet? The Pacer has got the new suspension physics, but I don't think anything else does yet. So the Pacer on Blackpool has got it, and it's the first generation of it. I think you've probably seen the videos with the German stock demonstrating the physics. I kind of thought they were a little bit too bouncy for mainline. can understand if they were travelling down a range line and they were that bouncy. Because I look back along our train, it's like characters going everywhere. But that's the joy of narrow gauge. Yeah, you can't actually do the join as yet, but if you did find a way to join them together by spawning one next to each other, you could couple them together, I believe. So you can't do formation designer yet, but there's nothing stopping you spawning trains in the same signal block where it lets you. It doesn't always let you. It seems to be a bit variable there. And joining them together, that works. So generally what I do is I put them in an unsignaled area like a yard and join whatever I want together that way by spawning multiple trains and hooking them up. And then I set a path and take them out of the yard. And I could say, don't try and run Flying Scotsman backwards, but it's funny. So do try and run Flying Scotsman backwards, because it's funny. Trains in space. Whoosh. Redo tried the 142 and the 150 should also be able to put together. No, I don't think that actually does work yet. I think they'll have to make changes to the 150 to make that work. So I would expect that to happen over time. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be on all trains in the winter update. Let's see. Part 2. So you've experienced the Flying Scotsman backwards trick. Yes. It's kind of entertaining. Coming up on Bolhurston, which looks like we probably be on time. Yeah, the 142 and 150s were together. I've seen photos of them together. So it would be good to be able to do that. It's the kind of thing it's not necessary for any timetable or scenario, but it's one of those things that's just pleasing to people, and things that are pleasing to people make them happier players. The more happy players games get, the more people talk about them positively, and then people go and buy them. This bloke with his spiffy tie, he's off to a job interview. His giant hands. Poppies are clearly very popular in this town. I wonder if they're that kind of poppy or not. C says the release trains with CSW4 is what they said. I mean, sorry, yeah, I think the new ones will have it. I'm not sure what they're doing with old stuff. It might be one of those things that happens over time, or it might be one of those things that never happens. There's a narrowboat down there, look at that. Down on the left there. That's kind of cool. It's nice to see a bright, colourful narrowboat too. Lexic Duck says, does it ragdoll or stay in line? Scotsman in space. Oh, it goes everywhere. Nicholas says First Great Western used the 142 and 150 unit together in Devon. Good to know. See, it's handy having you guys because I learned lots about UK trains. Ooh, nice camera angle. I once discovered that GoPros can survive getting hit by a train. Because I had the GoPro sitting on a little tiny tripod that I put between the tracks of a fairly fast train. Not that I'd go anywhere near the tracks or encourage you to go anywhere near the tracks. No, that wouldn't happen. And the train sucked it up and it hit something under the train. And got bounced around quite a bit and came out the side. And it still worked. Robust little things, GoPros. I reckon St. Padding's Cross will probably be the stopping point of this train. Just guessing. We appear to have a red coming up. It's boring. The distance is green. C says, I don't think they'll bother with the old stuff. They're too busy making TSW5. This is a gut feel thing, right? Ignore this thing. I personally reckon there will be a TSW5 in the UK summer. So in the middle, around the middle of the year. I just think that there'll be a new edition of the game each year because it went well for them. I think it was a little bit of an experiment to see how the community would take it. And while there are certainly some massively grumpy people, the reality is that it sold really well across all platforms. So when you've got something that sells really well, here comes an 03. 2 of them. When you've got something that sells really well, they're going to follow the money. Because why wouldn't you? And that will make the people who are grumpy about 3 and grumpy about 4, they'll be even more grumpy about 5, but it's reality, it's economics of business. I just kind of think that's what they'll do. So I don't know anything about it. They've not talked to me about it at all, and I have no insider knowledge as an ambassador on it. So I'm not trying to soften you up or anything. It's just personally what I expect. And I think what they've done is they've had a look at other games that are running an annual update model, and they've gone, yeah, we'll have a piece of that. Lexic Dark says, sound like a GoPro did the wake turbulence thing, like standing at the end of a runway, like in Pushing Tin, although they CGI'd what happened to the actors. Yeah, there's that beach in San Martins, isn't there? But a lot of people get blown over on that beach. You're going to release brakes. Pretty sure I pressed the release key a couple of times. But that's okay. Sorry for the delay, passengers. We'll be underway again shortly. Once the brakes actually finish coming off, we will anyway. They do appear to have fully released. I haven't knocked it out of gear or something in my roving, have I? No? It's in gear. Sounds like it's slipping to me. I reckon the brakes are still coming off in the carriages. I reckon we need some flag. Does sound like it's struggling again. motor there being held at the signal for us, as it should be. We are clearly more important being an express. Now we'll just rub it in by rolling past them. Say hello. Seems fair. Nicholas says TSW has come a long way since the game was first released. It's evolving. Yeah, it definitely is. It's had some really good changes. It's had some not so good changes. And it will continue. And just because I think a change is not so good doesn't mean it isn't. It's just something I personally don't like very much. There's a few things. I would love it if we got rid of Magic Steam, for example. Being an actual Steam fireman, I kind of like the physics to be better. But I don't want a real firing simulation either, because it took me, I would say right now I'm reasonably competent in firing, and after I came back to it after a very, very long absence, it took me a year to learn it again. It took me a year over nearly 20 shifts, and you wouldn't want that in a game. You'd be incredibly frustrated. So I don't want it to simulate reality. Reality's too hard. But simulate something. TSC Steam's rubbish too. It's completely wrong. It's utterly and utterly wrong in the way it works. Is against us, but we're still allowed to just run through these things. It's fine, they're rewarding. Because we will be stopping at St. Padding's Cross. Nicholas says, just noticed 2 types of rail, bullhead and flat bottom. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me if there's more than one type in here, because, you know, if you're going to simulate one, you'd simulate the other one. Look at the rail motor getting its own now, blasting us in. Don't get me wrong, TSW is actually quite good. I enjoy playing it. I like its service model, I like the idea of scenarios, I really like where the scenarios are going. The current gameplay team are really good. I particularly like being able to give them some input to scenarios. So as long as I get in early enough in the beta program for a route, if the scenarios aren't that amazing, and they're not operationally realistic, I get to put input in and help make them better. I think the most influence I've ever had over them was Peak Forest, and those ones are pretty much spot on for a steam railway. I was lucky enough to get in really early in the scenario testing on that one. So I was able to exert some influence, because if you get into the... It depends when you get into it. I can't talk much about beta testing, obviously, but I can talk a little bit. It depends when you get into it. If they're in the home stretch, you're pretty much stuffed. You just can't change it. Because they've learnt the lesson the hard way. If you make last minute changes, the world catches fire. And they've learnt not to do that. They resist the urge. And I think we've... I was worried then. I thought they were all red, but no, one of them's green. And resisting the urge is very important. We've gone from a minute early to a minute late. Hello, David Park. Hi there. Random question, but are the keys rebindable? And yes they are rebindable, and yes, its controls are crap, but rebind them to whatever you find makes you happy. It wasn't hard to do. I've made them the same as TSW's keys. There's a couple of extras though, because the brake, for example, there's a release key that you have to use. It's simulating charge and release. Speaking of brakes, I probably should. Or we're going to go bonk into the end of the buffers up there. There we go, run complete, 2 minutes late. That'll be the end of the stream today too, since my in-law wheels are here. Now that looks much better and closer to their curve. Now it's interesting that I deliberately slowed down quite a bit and ran slow and still arrived on time. The only thing that buggered me was this: I didn't manage to release the brakes properly and stopped. Had I done that, I would have arrived on time. But I'm well under their expected target curve, and if you maintained that target curve, you'd come in early everywhere. Oh well, that's life, isn't it? Catching up with questions. Lexic Dark says there is always going to be the spectrum of game through to full simulation. Exactly. It's always got to be a cross between an arcade and a full-on simulator, because a full-on simulator, to be honest, does not sell that well, because, face it, running trains is actually really hard. It takes a lot of knowledge, it takes a lot of understanding. You have to really understand the physics of everything that's going on, because if you don't, it's not going to work for you. You might be able to get through your average day-to-day and get the rote things done, but on those days when it's not going well, you'll be dead. Literally. But, that's life. Nicholas said, I know guys who do footplate on steam locomotives. They say you constantly have to do turns, lots of commitment. Yeah, you do, all the time. I do a minimum of 2 a month, much to my wife's disgust. And I find if I have a break, or like I spent a couple of months on the Garrett, and when I went back to the NAs, I had to learn quite a bit of stuff again, because it's so different to the Garrett. Because the Garrett's basically 2 locomotives in one. Anyway, midnight in the UK, so Happy New Year to the new UK people. There we go. We've got Happy Cat just for the purpose. And, good stuff. 5 hours till David Park gets there. Oh, well, you'll get there, mate. Hopefully the world won't end in the next 5 hours. But anyway, I'm going to go and pay attention to my relos that have rocked up and go and have our New Year's lunch. So, thanks very much for joining in on the stream. I think I quite like this game. I mean, it's got some things that are a bit interesting, but I think it's just because they're different that I find them a bit interesting. But I think, overall, it's a good game. Particularly worth it in the sale, given the prices that you can get it for around the planet. And I'll be having a look at the workshop stuff to see what the real routes look like, because I do prefer a real route, just personally. But, sounds good, runs good, feels good. 8 hours to go for Michael. You'll get there. Mind you, you are next to America, maybe you won't. We'll see what Kim Jong-un does tonight. Anyway, have fun, folks. Enjoy. See you later. And catch you next time. Next Sunday, I'll be streaming a Japanese one. It's a bit of a weird one, but I kind of like it, even though it's a bit weird. It'll be a lower resolution stream, though, because the highest it'll actually run in is 1080p, so that's life. It's keyed to a video, and they don't know how to resize clearly. Anyway, have fun, folks. See you later.
Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments, because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.